Thank you for purchasing the Truffledex Budget app, Google Sheets Edition. I'm Art, and I'm going to walk you through how to get yourself set up for the very first time, and then just give you a quick review of the functionality. So the first thing you want to make sure is you have a Google Sheet opened up. Now, included in your purchase is this quick start guide as well as a more intensive user guide, but the quick start guide perfectly fine for getting ourselves up and running. All right. The first thing we want to do is open up our extensions and go to App Scripts. This is the background of any Google Sheet that has a little bit more intensive data involved with it. Now we're going to see we have our code.js selected first, and we're going to delete this function. We don't need it. It's not our friend. We're going to go ahead and open up now our TruffledexBudget text file. This is included again. And this includes all of your scripting, all of your coding that you're going to need for this. The great news is you don't have to understand any of it. We're just going to hit select all, and we're going to go ahead and hit copy. Nice and simple for us. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and minimize that, get back to our app, and we're going to go ahead and hit paste. Now all we need to do is hit Control S to save all the work we just pasted in there. And we're going to see we have three options up here: run, debug, and unopen. We're going to select unopen and change that to build our Truffledex sheet. And we're going to hit run. Now, this is where Google gets involved because Google wants to make sure you know exactly what you are doing, and it's going to ask you to review permissions. Now, this is not a Google verified app. What that means is we have not sent this to Google. Google has not written this. Google has not signed off on this, but Google still lets you run it. But it wants to make sure you know that this is from a third party. This is not from Google. This is from Truffledex. Now, the great news is, and I feel it's really important to underline, is all we do at Truffledex is provide you the code. We don't have any access to what you've done with this after you have purchased it. We can't see your data. We can't see your budgets. We just give you the code. All right, so it is perfectly safe to run. We are going through a couple more hoops here as we hit continue and accept the fact that we are running something Google has not created. While that runs, we're going to go back to our spreadsheet here, and we're going to say, yeah, we do want to rebuild this workbook because we're going to build something a lot cooler for us. And we get the pleasure of seeing as it starts to load and develop each of the sheets for us as it builds through and goes through its development process. Perfect. Okay, it is now finished building for us. And this shouldn't take more than a minute for us to get here, usually about 15 to 30 seconds. But this is when you know it has finished running. And we don't need this window anymore, so we're going to go ahead and close it. Now, it's going to start you right off with this Start Here page. This kind of runs through the basics of the budget. Again, we have a more intensive user guide included, which goes through a lot more of the details. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to load this with our sample data. Now, this sample data is something you are able to do and add on. Don't worry, it cannot and will not override any of your existing data. It won't actually let it run if you have data that's already in there. Okay, great. Our sample data has loaded. Again, it shouldn't take more than maybe 10 or 15 seconds for that to get in there. If we go into our settings page, this is really the heart or the brain of this entire budget. This is where you really want to go in here and you want to customize it. I'm not going to make any changes because this is our sample data. I will say one of the more important parts here is your budget period. So we have weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly options. I recommend aligning this with your pay periods. Do you get paid bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly? Now, as we look down here, we have a couple different budget buckets, right? This is where you want to track where your money is going. Are you eating out? Do you have a rent or a mortgage? Your utilities. And I recommend breaking up your utilities, right? Like, do you have a cell phone bill, water bill, electric bill? Everything along those lines. Your debt, you may want to break up into student loans and car payments or credit cards. Anything here to get a little more creative. And you can do that right up here in your Truffledex budget menu where you select like adding any new buckets or deleting them. Here we see all our ledger items available to us. This is actually all of our spending activity that we have tracked. If you need to add anything new, you're going to do it right here in your transaction item. This includes even transferring items from one bucket to another. Say you need to spend more money on your rent this month, so you need to cut some money out of eating out. You can transfer from bucket to bucket. And you want to add your income in here as well. So if I made a little extra money this month, I'm going to go ahead and put it in there here. Okay. Here we see our actual budget, which runs through how much we were supposed to spend, how much we actually have spent, and we have the ability to see previous periods. So I want to take a look at April's activities, or I want to take a look at um, March, anything along those lines. I have that ability to go in here and make those changes. And then finally, we have our dashboard. Now you're going to want to refresh your dashboard whenever you want to take a look at the charts. That's going to run through for us. And now we have the ability to see all of our spending year to date. And of course, you can change that as needed. Okay. Quick rundown. That's all this was of our Google Sheets Truffledex application. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or find more details in the user guide. Thank you for purchasing from Truffledex, and we hope you have a wonderful time getting more control of your budget.